Hi everyone, I'm Eleni from Yogahari Healing, and today I'm going to show you how to work through ardha chandrasana, which is a standing balancing pose. But before we get into the pose, I'm going to show you a preparatory pose to demonstrate how to turn the hip and the leg up in the correct way. Because often when we do the pose, we turn the leg up and lift the leg up using our lower back, which strains our lower back. But if we learn how to rotate the leg from the hip joint, we get the movement from the hip joint rather than the lower back. So a really nice preparatory pose to do is this one. So come up onto your hands and knees into table pose. Place your hands onto the floor about shoulder width apart, and just make sure that the wrists are a little further than the shoulders so that you don't place too much pressure on them. Spread the fingers so that you've got a nice firm base to work with. Take your legs apart, about hip width, have the toes pointing down. Now I'm just going to demonstrate on one side, and I'm going to demonstrate the incorrect way first. So taking one leg up about hip height, this is the incorrect way of of lifting the leg. So most people use the back to lift the leg, and this feels really bad on my lumbar and my sacrum. Okay, so let's just readjust ourselves, and I'll show you the correct way of moving the leg from the hip joint. So bring the leg up again, keep it really firm, lifting the front of the thigh up, pressing out through the heel and the ball of the foot, and then just very gently let the thigh and the leg roll out. And you can see that my leg here is rotating from the hip joint as opposed to doing this. So if you can just practice this pose a little prior to doing ardha chandrasana, when you're in ardha chandrasana, you'll have a better feeling of how to rotate the leg and the hip up towards the ceiling. Okay. Hope that little tip helps you. So let's go through ardha chandrasana. Okay, so when you're ready, come into Tadasana so that we become grounded and we arrive in our body in our practice. Take a moment to just feel into Tadasana, pressing down through the feet, lifting up through the chest, the crown of the head. Now you can either jump your feet apart or walk your feet apart. Bringing your hands to your chest, bend your knees, lightly jump your feet apart or walk apart about one of your leg lengths. Turn your right foot in and your heel out slightly, lifting the left foot up, coming onto the outer heel, the little toe, and then down through the ball of the foot. Roll the top of the right thigh out and the kneecap out. Inhale, lift up through the chest, extend out through the arms. And as you inhale again, lifting up through the chest, extending long through the arm and the side waist. And let's just come into Trikonasana first. And let's roll the rib cage and the chest up towards the ceiling before you turn the head and look up into Trikonasana. Keep the back thigh firm, pressing down through the back heel. Take your hand onto your hip now. We're going to start moving into ardha chandrasana. Without turning the chest down towards the floor, turn your head down towards the floor. Keep the rib cage turning up towards the ceiling. Now we're going to bend this right knee. We're going to take our hand onto the block. The block will be placed onto its flat edge. Some of you may need 2 blocks. Make sure that the block is on the little toe side of the foot. Move your back foot forward slightly. Then you might need to adjust the block further forward. Now this is the important bit. We're going to lift the back heel on the floor, come up onto the toe, the big toe, and we're going to drag the big toe towards the front foot and then lift the leg up from the hip joint. Don't even turn your head at this point. You might need to adjust the block forward a little. Now from here, keep that bottom leg grounded and turn the rib cage up towards the ceiling. Keep the back leg lifted about hip height. Keep the back thigh firm. Now let's implement some of the work we did in the previous pose. Let's turn the thigh and the hip up from the hip joint. And you might want to just practice this here a few moments before you go for the full variation. So just rotating the leg from the hip joint. Once the hip and the thigh is rolling up towards the ceiling, press down through the hand to turn the rib cage and the chest forward, looking forward. And then if you feel ready, as you extend and stretch that top leg away from you, you might want to take the top arm up towards the ceiling and just turn your head wherever it's comfortable for your neck. Turning and looking up if you can. From here, we'll take the hand onto the hip, turn down towards the floor, bend that front leg, and reach that back leg back to the original Trikonasana distance. Turning the chest up, extending the arm up, and as you come up, feel as if you're pressing both feet down into the mat and spreading them away from you. As you come up, turning the back foot forward and walking or jumping back into Tadasana. Enjoy.